Okay, so I cannot talk about Third Ward without talking about the art that's all around Third Ward. And I wanted to introduce you all to a friend of mine, Brian Ellison. And I was introduced to Brian's work last year. We took a class together. And right away, I thought of Gordon Parks watching his film. I think his work is beautiful. I think the community work he's doing in Third Ward is amazing. And Brian is also from Tulsa. And so I want to ask him why he decided to make Third Ward his home. So here's Brian. Brian, thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Shawan, it's a
yeah.
pleasure.
So first off, Brian, you're from Tulsa.
Right.
And it's so much to talk to you about. And I know you had a lot to do with Black Wall Street. You did some artwork surrounding that. Could you talk about some of that?
Yeah, so I'm from Tulsa, but not only am I from Tulsa, I'm from the north side of Tulsa. That is where Black Wall Street is. I grew up maybe, I don't know, a mile or two away from Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
I will say I grew up not knowing anything about Black Wall Street until later in my adult life. And so the work that I did in the summer in conjunction with Rick Lowe and Greenwood Art Project basically was around showing the life that's still there,
Yeah.
showing, I don't know, like these seeds that we thought were buried, but that still grew.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the work was around the Black beautiful things that hide in plain sight that still exist,
Yeah.
that are the offspring of what Black Wall Street was.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so much of rich history in Tulsa, but somehow you made it here to Third Ward. So what is it about Third Ward that attracted you to come here? Or I don't know if you were here and then found Third Ward, but to come here and produce your work.
So I initially moved to Houston to go to grad school at Prairie View for counseling.
Oh.
And I was living with family way out in Richmond. And I remember thinking to myself, I have to get out of Houston. There's no Black people in Richmond. And one day I Googled like Black people in Houston, and it led me to this poetry spot in Third Ward. And from that point, like this bulb went off. It reminded me
Yeah.
so much of Tulsa. And so I would just come back and just at coffee shops and local Black
Yeah.
businesses, and I just started meeting more and more and more people. And before I knew it, I kind of connected with a lot of local artists.
Yeah.
They helped me to find. Third Ward gave birth to me as an artist. You know what I'm saying? And Third Ward reminds me so much of home.
Yeah.
And I credit Third Ward as being the heartbeat of culture for the city of Houston.
Absolutely.
And so, I couldn't imagine myself being anywhere else but here.
Yeah.
Living, having my children grow up here, it's super extremely important that they're able to experience all the beautiful things
Right.
that still exist here.
Yeah.
Even though it's been heavily gentrified, but it's still so much beauty that resides and is growing
Right.
and flourishing here.
Right. Parent, artist.
Right.
I'm the same way with my daughter.
Yep.
I keep her here in Third Ward. Even when we're not staying in Third Ward, I keep her active here, and she goes to school here. So, speaking of gentrification, if Third Ward was to be completely gentrified, how would that affect this community, and how would it affect the arts community? Just an idea. I know that's a hard question.
Ooh, how would it affect the community? What is a body without a soul? I mean, this is the spirit. Emancipation, what used to be Dialing,
Yeah.
Eldorado Ballroom. I
Yeah.
mean, stories upon stories about artists and historians and all the people that grew up here or came
Yeah.
here to perform. It is just, it would be a travesty
Yeah.
if Third Ward was to be just like kind of whitewashed and like wiped away.
Yeah.
And thankfully, there are a lot of people doing a lot of work to make sure that that doesn't happen. And
Yeah.
so I'm super happy about that type of work that's taking part in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the work, that happens here, it erases a painful past, like for example, Dowling Street was a Confederate soldier here in the heart of Third Ward, and now it's emancipation. So I appreciate it and appreciate the people that did the work to get that name changed. That means a lot.
Probably 7, 8 years ago, my first introduction to Project Row Houses was through Robert Hodge and Philip Powell, Robert Pruitt. They had a studio right over here called formerly Zelia's Lounge, and I would go there and just sit and watch and learn. Fast forward, I didn't know that I would eventually be occupying that space as an artist.
Wow.
Fast forward a little bit more, now here I am on the actual Project Row land with a studio, partnered with Anthony Suber and Rabea Bayen, and we do participate in the opening rounds and other type of any type of venture that Row Houses is putting on.
Yeah.
We open up our doors. We allow people to come and view our work, to experience we are kind of like resident artists in the way that we partnership with Project Row Houses. So
Okay.
I mean, but the people that come here, people from all over the world,
Yeah.
like literally all over the world. I've had conversations with people sitting on those stoops
Yeah.
with people who have been waiting to get here and experience
Yeah.
what they've been reading about, what they've been hearing about. Like, I think when we grow up in a space and we see it or we experience it so much that it can, in our minds, become normalized. But this thing is extravagant. Like, it's super, super important, and it is super vital to the neighborhood, and it reigns like internationally. Like, everybody knows about Project Row House.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. So, when did you become an artist? Was it after moving here, or were you an artist in Tulsa?
I was an artist, but I didn't call myself an artist. You know, it's like, I think I ask artists this all the time, like, when did you allow yourself permission to call yourself an artist? And it was through other people that told me, man, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was just a person that was taking pictures.
Yeah.
But deep down in my mind, I was a photographer, I was a filmmaker, I'm a director. But it's about like your community pushing you, kind of seeing you before you see yourself. And like that has been my story here in Third Ward. Like, people seeing me before I see myself, reminding me or showing me who I am and helping me become anchored in like what I'm here to do. Like, and I know I'm here to do creative, beautiful work.
Absolutely.
To, you know, spread across the world.
Can you talk about the Black Man Project or any other projects that you have going on?
The Black Man Project is a nonprofit that I started. It's rooted in creating safe spaces for Black boys and men to come and just be. We create healing installations through conversation, food, quietness. And, you know, sometimes we read articles together and like just pick each other's minds. But it started from a grant that I got called the Andy Warhol Grant Idea Fund Grant. And I did a film, a short film, not a short film, a feature film about it's called Unmasculinity. And it's dealing with the lack of emotional access that Black men don't have. Or that they haven't given themselves permission to have. Based on all the other things that's happened to us to this point. And so it's really challenging the mindsets around how we can evolve as men and how we can evolve as Black men, because it just makes everything better when we get better.
It's good to now see younger filmmakers like yourself addressing the issues that we as Black people have going on, and specifically that Black men, and letting them know that they can be vulnerable and share their emotions with each other. Not just with your woman, with another man, because only another man is going to understand what you're going through. And being open with each other. That's beautiful to me. And
thank you.
I get excited because I'm an artist, and, you know, our work showcases what the community is dealing with. Can we go inside and see your studio?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So all this is done in Tulsa. I'm doing a project called the Erasure Project, like challenging the idea of erasure. So this in particular, like this is my my great aunt. This is another project I'm working on called Backbone. And it's telling the story of like Black elder women. I'm raised by my great grandmother, and so through my work, I plan on paying homage to them and what they've done for me. And I mean, they are the reason I am the way I am. The Erasure Project, man, is really dealing with how gentrification is heavily impacting Tulsa. And so I went to I went to these different communities that I grew up in, these apartment projects, and they're about to be knocked down and just like built high, like these high towers are going to be built on top of them, condos and stuff. And so I went there to shoot, and there wasn't a lot of people there because a lot of people have already been like removed. And I was just like, yo, what does it mean like for something just to be erased? And like the people, their memories, like all the things that happened before no longer, because when a new person moves there, or when you paint on top of a canvas that is white, but somebody had work underneath there, like you never know what was underneath there. And like, so it's just the Erasure Project is like trying to make sure that they are remembered.